We are live with another edition of the Daily Crypto Byte. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Saw some exciting price action this weekend and, some really interesting technicals play out. So I'm excited to talk to you guys today. CJ, you ready for another edition of the Daily Crypto Byte today?
Yeah, of course. And it's a great day to do it too, because of that price action, like you mentioned. There's a lot of technicals that we can go into, especially about how this trend may play out throughout the course of the week. With that being said, do you want to start off with technicals? News?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hop into some technicals.
All right.
It's been, like you said, there's some really interesting candles forming here. So if you want to go ahead and pull up your screen. What do we got for Bitcoin?
Yeah, so as you can see, we had a massive downturn this weekend, went all the way down to the TD sequential buy 9 on the one-day chart. And then after that, after the TD buy 9 signal, we got a really nice bullish engulfing candle. And that bullish engulfing candle is more than just, a technical formation. It symbolizes the psychology of the market in the sense that what I talked about last week is that after we had that decline and that flash crash to 51K overnight, buyers were really tentative to step up and to actually engage. And now what we're seeing in that bullish engulfing candle is buyers willing to step up and buy that dip. And that's very promising to see, because if you'll watch in our previous two downturns, what we've had in Bitcoin is bullish engulfing candles as well at the bottom of the downtrend. Last week, we talked a lot about how we had hit this kind of hammer candle, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for the bulls to truly step in and provide that momentum. So the fact that we're getting that bullish engulfing candle after the TD buy 9, really promising sign. We also have the CCI turning up into positive territory, as well as the Stoke. So those are all really promising buy signals. And the last thing I'll mention that was really nice to see during the weekend is when we had this entire sell pressure and we had that leg down, it was all on declining volume, which means that the sellers are somewhat leaving the market and buyers are stepping in. And we really saw that come to fruition with that bullish engulfing candle. So judging by these two patterns and how we've played out recently, it's looking rather promising from for the rest of the week, at least I'd say. I'd say the one thing that I'm a bit concerned about, or that we should watch out for, is the Bitcoin options expiration on April 30th. So at the end of the month, we've typically sometimes seen a price suppression leading up to those Bitcoin options expiration. But other than that, technicals are looking really good for the short term.
Yeah, CJ, I feel like it's been a while since, we've had these technicals that are signaling that we should enter a long trade. We've been kind of in this period of, just a bullish uptrend. And it's not very often that we get this sort of dip. But one thing I talked about on Friday was, this is really the first test of the mettle of a lot of these crypto holders that have entered the market in 2021. Their willingness to buy this dip this weekend, I think was so important to the market. We're already seeing a nice bounce this morning with this bullish engulfing candle. And yeah, I mean, I agree. The technicals right now are looking just tremendously good. So always encouraging to see. I did want to quickly mention one news story that I thought was worth mentioning. And that was just that Trevor Lawrence, the projected first overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft, is expecting to, well, he is making a deal with Blockfolio, and he's taking his entire signing bonus in crypto. So this is big news, right? I mean, this isn't just any NFL player. This is Trevor Lawrence, the projected #1 overall pick. I mean, the dude's got clearly a lot of talent. And, this is big because he really is a trendsetter in a lot of ways for, other athletes that are going to follow in his footsteps. He made a big commitment by choosing to take his signing bonus, which is going to be sizable, entirely in crypto. So, big moves for crypto, big moves for Blockfolio, and, props to Trevor Lawrence for, taking that big step and being kind of a pioneer in the sporting crypto community. Love to see it.
Yeah, whether they like it or not, athletes oftentimes are role models. They are looked up to by the youth. And it's very interesting to see how future generations will perceive Bitcoin as a currency as a result of things like that. So very interesting news. Thanks for bringing that to the table as well, Monty.
Yeah. It's, a lot of exciting news in crypto. It's more mainstream than ever, I feel like. And, I think when that happens, that's when we can start to see a lot of retail speculation coming into the space. And on the topic of retail speculation, CJ, I think there's a lot of great opportunities for some really interesting Doge of the Day plays, because not only are they forming similar technical patterns to Bitcoin, but also, they saw some pretty significant corrections in the last week, and there are a lot of great buying opportunities. So what do you say? You want to hop into our Doge of the Day and show people what we are thinking in terms of the altcoins for this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to start us off?
Yeah, let me just bring up my pick. Personally, let me just start by saying I think the DeFi market overall is poised very well this week. We're getting another one of those bullish engulfing candles. Still waiting for a little bit more volume to pick up in the overall perpetual index, but we're seeing a ton of prices across the board in the DeFi market increase. And one that I think is pretty interesting from a technical perspective is UMA, in the sense that we had a big spike in volume at the bottom here. Trading volume is up roughly 100% on this one, and we haven't done a whole lot yet. We still need to close above that SMA on the daily, but it's very interesting to see. We got both oscillators turning up on that one and some interesting technicals. If you don't mind, I just want to share one bonus because this was the volume pick, but I like the technicals on this one a little bit more in the DeFi market, and that is KNC, Kyber Network. So you can see a lot of great buying opportunities this weekend, like Monty had mentioned with that decline. But as you can see, we're seeing something very similar to Bitcoin, and we've seen this in a lot of the assets in the DeFi market. We see that TD sequential buy 9, and then a bullish engulfing pattern following it with high volume. Both the oscillators tipping up, looking very good and very promising from the technical perspective on KNC. I mentioned UMA as well earlier as a volume play. I think the volume is very interesting on that one as well. But those are going to be my two DeFi picks for the day.
I like those picks, CJ. I like those picks a lot. And, a lot of people have been asking like when to buy this dip. I never recommend buying a falling knife, but what we're seeing a lot today is these bullish engulfing candles. This is when I love to enter a long trade. When you get that bullish engulfing candle, it's kind of just confirmation that we actually are getting a reversal, because, a lot of these assets are prone to fake outs. And, this is, I think, great confirmation to enter a long trade for a lot of these assets. We're seeing it across the board. And one that I'm about to mention as my Doge of the Day is in a very similar position, and that is STMX or StormX. So as you can see from this chart, we're also getting this bullish engulfing candle here. And like I mentioned earlier, StormX is one of those assets that was particularly affected by, that sideways price action in Bitcoin and that tax news that, kind of crippled the market last week. This thing had a upwards of 50% correction from its all-time high. And, a lot of people were wondering where this thing's going to bottom out. Full disclosure, I do hold StormX, and I did make a purchase of more StormX this morning because, I think the technicals are looking very strong here. This bullish engulfing candle, for one, also we had that TD sequential 9. But further, I really like that it's setting up this nice support at, a little above 4 cents. I think this is an encouraging indication that StormX has put in a new bottom. So like I said, I just was waiting for this kind of confirmation in the form of a bullish engulfing candle, and we're getting it today. So I went ahead and I increased my StormX position this morning. So that is my dojo of the day, StormX. But like I mentioned, there are many other alts with similar looking technicals. And I think this week is, and today in particular, provides a really unique opportunity for those that are, sort of new to this crypto market in 2021. There are a lot of really interesting buying opportunities that were just overbought merely a week ago.
Yeah, I like the concept you mentioned as well as waiting for confirmation, because it was really interesting. That TD buy 9 really crashed. Like we've talked about how those have been a catalyst for bullish price action, on the green trend on the way up, but they can do the exact same thing when we're looking at the red 9s in the inverse. So the fact that we're getting confirmation with the bullish engulfing candle afterwards, very promising. Also, I forgot to say, I do have KNC as well. Small position in KNC.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, this is going to be an exciting week. I think that's one thing that we can for sure say, just looking at these technicals and, looking at the news that's already started this week. But yeah, I'm excited for this week. I think, we're in for a good week after last week. Last week was a rough one for a lot of crypto holders. So if you made it through last week, you deserve a good week this week.
Don't forget, you can earn up to 10% interest on USDC on Voyager. You can also trade commission-free. They are the sponsor of this program. And don't forget, if you hold 500 VGX tokens, you get a 1% interest boost on all the assets that you hold. Full disclosure, I do hold VGX, so make sure to check that out. Also, if you'd like to join our crypto trading room, you can go to the link below, marketrebellion.com/try crypto. Monty and I are there during the weekends all the time to answer questions, publish trade ideas, talk about macro portfolio allocations, all things of that sort. You can try that for $1 if you'd like. So we definitely would appreciate it. But with that being said, any final words, Monty?
No, I just saw some questions in chat about the TD sequential indicator. That's our charting platform. You can try it at marketrebellion.com/try crypto, like I just said. And actually, CJ went ahead and made a course specifically for the TD sequential indicator. So if you're not familiar with it, head to our education curriculum, check it out, and you can learn how to trade the momentum on those green 9s and those red 9s like we do. So that's all I got for today. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. And I think Dr. Doge will be back tomorrow as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.